Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jarrett Goes to the Movies, a weekly podcast where Jarrett Reddick and friends get together and talk about a movie that they watched that week. Plus, whatever the hell else is on their minds. Get ready for the best hour and a half you'll have in the next hour and a half. Here they are, Eric, Casey, Sean, Amy, and because he's famous, his name's on the show, Jarrett. Welcome to Jarrett Goes to the Movies.
Thank you guys very much. Welcome to Jarrett Goes to the Movies, a very special Tuesday taping for us. I want to apologize to the cast and the fans who were expecting there to be a taping last night of this movie, Airplane, that we're going to talk about. This is just me being honest. I just fucking forgot. I mean, it was on the calendar. My day filled up. And Sunday night, I don't even know what we did it wasn't anything crazy. And I think Sunday night was the night we went to bed at like 9 o'clock because Saturday night had been, Saturday night we celebrated New Year's finally. And Sunday was a bit of a rough day, if you know what I mean. And so we went to bed fairly early. I'm glad you guys are here, and I'm glad you're listening, wherever you're listening. Talking about the movie Airplane from 1980. Again, when that came up during 5 questions, which you guys will hear a little bit later, it seemed like that seems really long ago. I mean, it really did. And, it's funny. I guess we'll talk a little bit about, how the movie aged and how certain things aged and some gags and stuff like that. Well, anyway, I hope you guys are all having a good New Year so far. What a wacky time it is to be alive. So I hope you're all staying safe and healthy. We got a little bit of news to talk about. In March, as we've been talking about, we will have our 5 questions battle. We got to name this thing. I don't know what we're going to call it. It can't be like Tournament of Champions because, well, I'm going to tell you why now. So our 5 questions, the people that are in the top 5 right now are going to battle it out to see who the ultimate champ is. But we're also going to have our bottom 5 battle it out to see who actually is the shittiest of the 5 of them. So so far, and here's the thing, it's still kind of anybody's game in both. Right now, Woody Chambers is 1, John Gickler, then Greg Lee, then Jason Ellsworth. Then Josh Millman and Wendy Madda are tied for 5. So, and Wendy has another game. She played tonight, but she does have another game coming up with Wayne's World, and we haven't seen Josh in a bit. So, anybody's game. Oh, and Greg just put another win up, which you guys, I guess I shouldn't have said that. Sean, edit that out. And then, of course, our bottoms, our tournament of bottoms.
Our top bottoms.
Yeah. This is weird because it goes in reverse. Number 5 is. Number 4, Jared Spear. Number 3, Steve May. Now, I will say this. Steve May has not been on a ton of times. But Chris Cranfill, and then, of course, you know him, you love him, Vinnie Cataldo. So anyway, stick around. What's that?
What's sad is, of that bottom 5, Zalborz only has 3 wins.
Oh, and he's 5?
Jared, Steve, and Cranfill all have 2.
Right. But how many? But I mean, like, how many times has Steve played? Is it enough? Like, as it
5 times?
Okay, but that's probably the lowest times played in that little realm of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is Sean a little bit quiet?
No, he's always quiet. We actually worked on this before.
Oh, that's why you call him Silent Sean.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, he's just not quiet.
Let me just say this. If you are wanting to support the show, it's super easy. You just go to patreon.com and then search for Jarrett Goes to the Movies, or just patreon.com/Jarrett Goes to the Movies. And all of our support does come from our listeners. And this is exciting. We have 3 to report this week. New $5 supporter, Sarah, everybody. Moving from $10 to $20, you will now hear his name each week. It's Michael Leblanovitz, a.k.a. Mike Florida on Twitch, everybody. Give it up for him. Oh, shit, sorry. And you guys are not going to believe this. I actually have this guy on the phone. We have somebody returning from the $1 level to the $50 level. It is our OG producer, ladies and gentlemen, Tim Toole. That's right.
All right.
We need to give it up for him. Hold on. Yes, you're right. Tim Toole, everybody. Hey, Tim, how you doing, man?
Yo.
So you're going to be at the $50 level again. That means we're going to see you on 5 questions. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's right.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, how are things going up there in Seattle?
Well, I'm fucking drinking. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm glad to hear about that. Now, are you excited about being back on the podcast?
This is the podcast.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're excited to have you back. Do you think it's going to be as fun as back when you were on the first time? You know, we've had some changes to the cast. You think the show's as good?
Probably not.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, we're still glad to have you. Glad to have you here. And
fuck you, Rich.
Well, Rich isn't on the show anymore, but I will let him know. I'll send him a text and see what he says. And
what the fuck?
Yeah, I know. Well, things have changed. Eric is here now, and
hey, she's hot.
No, Eric is here. And but tonight we're talking about Airplane.
It was an amazing movie, but I've never seen it before. I watched it this week.
Okay. So you've never seen it?
No.
Okay. Well, listen, thanks for calling in. We're glad to have you back.
I was watching this movie and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. Well, dude, seriously, we're happy to have you back.
But you know what I thought about this movie? I almost thought it was like a remake of Night at the Roxbury.
Okay. I don't know. Well, this actually came out first, though, you know?
I don't know. It sounds like a cool job to me.
Okay. I don't know.
There are so many.
I gotta get out of here, man.
That's a very bad rule.
No, I'm just saying that I gotta get off the freaking thing.
I felt like a kid watching this for the first time.
Okay, we get it. You did watch it. All right. So listen, what's your plan for after this?
We'll go to fucking Quick Trip.
Okay, cool. I heard that you've been having fun staying home with the kids, though.
I had to light a fucking match today, and my 4-year-old came in. She was like, "Why does it smell like shit?" And my wife's like, "Oh my God."
All right, buddy. Well, we'll see you. Thanks for coming back to the show, and we'll talk to you later.
Anal probe.
All right, buddy.
Okay, I just find it funny.
Okay. Tim Toole. I managed to use all but 2 keys in that one conversation, by the way.
So many.
Yeah, there are. It's
bravo.
That felt pretty good, man. It's going to be cool to have Tim back on. Tim Toole. At the first of this podcast, he was a neighbor, and he just wandered down and sort of became this beloved feature on the show. And half the time, we were drinking a lot back then. And had a lot of fun. So he's up in Seattle. We're happy to have him back. Give it up for all of our new supporters, everybody. Thank you, guys. Very happy to have all of you. This is a David Dooley and Woody Chambers production. Don't forget, if you want to be part of the winning team, go to patreon.com/Jarrett Goes to the Movies. Our producers are at the $20 level and up, and they are Ad Craner, Amy Pitzinger, Andy Smith, Ashley C., Brian Mason, Brian Dunning, Shell Ordway, Chris Cranfield, Chris Jacobs, Corey Reed, Daniel Cotton, David Dooley, David Murray, Denny Chambers, Derek Smith, Diane Small, Dom Petretta, Gage Strickland, Gareth Roberts, Geraldine Darling, Gregory Cordone, Greg Lee, Greg Stevens, A Hangover You Don't Deserve podcast, Jared Spear, Jason Aylesworth, Jeff Millman, brother of Josh Millman. You guys may remember that. Jeff Yeager, fucking Joe Barlow, Joey Bishop, John Gickler, Joseph Richards, Josh Millman, Kate Etro, Katie Gardner, Kim Murphy, Kirsty Fisher, Lily Hollahan, Lisa Wenzel, Lucy Murray, Mandy Pretty, Michael Leblanovitz, Michael Price, Mike Breton, Nick Brignoni, Rodon James, Ray Elliott, Rich Osborne, Robert Mays, Sean Blackstone, Sean Barger, Steve May, Steve Rhodes, Tess Green, Tim Toole, Tim Trafton from Maine, Trey Wren, Vinnie Cataldo, Wendy Madda, Woody Chambers, and Svi Hurst. Give it up for our amazing supporters. You guys didn't put any funny ones in there? Is that because you were you just didn't get here in time? Is that how that works?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to.
All right. Okay, all good. Hey, so now here's the thing. You guys, I think you guys are going to find some of this interesting. Okay, 1980. This is a PG movie, and I remember this very well because you get to see
what?
Yeah, you get to see boobies, and this is one of those ones. This is before PG-13 was a thing. And so, you walked a fine line sometimes.
Oh, so it just went from PG to R?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so, sometimes you got to see a lot more boobies in PG movies back then, because there was no 13. 1980, again, I found it to be, insane. $1.28. It could have been longer. I'd sit there and watch this fucking thing for hours. I think this is really surprising, and it's just got to be because it's such a beloved movie. But 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb, 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. 97% being this kind of, movie, which I love. This is of the hot shots and the police squad and the,
the scary movies. And...
yeah, that kind of thing.
The Naked Gun.
Naked Gun. Yeah, just so great. Budgeted $3.5 million, which seems insane to me. I guess it's 40 years ago. So that, I wonder how much hold on just a second. Hey, Siri, how much was $3.5 million worth in 1980? No, that's not what I meant to ask. Let's see if she gets it right.
I found an answer. It's displayed on your iPad.
Okay, so with $3.5 million... Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, I did it backwards. All right. So 1 million is like 3.5 million now. So it would be closer to... 12 million. Yeah, like 11, 12 million. Yeah. So... anyway, still, like renting airplanes and airports and all of that,
They made the budget back in 2 days, so that
did they really?
Is good.
That's just crazy. Amazing marketing by that. I mean, $83 million box office, though, which doesn't surprise me at all. Now, Eric, had you seen this movie before?
Yes, this is one that I've seen quite a few times.
Awesome. Were you able to watch it when you still lived with your parents?
No, this is definitely something I remember of this when I lived with my parents when I was little. Specifically, when he's going in for the landing and the sweat just starts coming down in like buckets.
Yeah, I
remember vividly seeing that when I was little, but we weren't watching it. My parents were watching it, and we just walked in. So, no, this would have been something that I chose to watch, when I was in my teens or 20s or whatever.
Got it. Well, definitely a good one. So, no pre-synopsis.
Over to Eric for his synopsis.
A man afraid to fly must
Yes.
Let's take that again.
Okay.
A man afraid to fly must ensure that a plane lands safely after the pilots become sick.
Sure. I mean, I'll buy that. I mean, there's not really a lot more you could put in there because you can't really explain too much about and none of this could really happen.
I feel like you'd have to add that it was a comedy in some way, because if somebody just read that synopsis, they'd think it was like a thriller or drama.
Looking for Harrison Ford somewhere.
Yeah, something with Tom Hanks.
You'd have to take it out of the context of what the movie is actually about and just kind of describe the movie itself, and that's just different than what a synopsis is. So,
by the way, first,
you can't say.
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you were finished.
Oh, I was just saying, because you would say, from the creators of Naked Gun comes an irreverent comedy about what it's like to be in a cult or whatever the actual plot of the movie is, but that's again not a synopsis, that's just advertising. So
absolutely,
I guess that synopsis is pretty good.
Temple of Doom and Red Dawn were the first two PG-13 movies. So could put that into
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze was definitely in Red Dawn, along with C. Thomas Howell, Charlie Sheen.
See him do what?
C Spot Run.
C Spot Run. Leah Thompson. Jessica Biel. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I think she was like 4 years old when that was coming. Well, guys, I'm excited to do this. Let's do Airplane. Been talking about doing this movie for a really long time. So, Sean, get us started, would you?
Elaine.
Ted.
I came home early and found your note. I guess you meant for me to read it later. Elaine, I've got to talk to you.
I just don't want to go over it anymore.
I know things haven't been right for a long time, but it'll be different. Like it was in the beginning. If you'll just be patient, I can work things out.
I have been patient, and I've tried to help, but you wouldn't even let me do that.
Don't you feel anything for me at all anymore?
It takes so many things to make love last. Most of all, it takes respect. And I can't live with the man I don't respect.
Just the amount of times they break the fourth wall in this movie, like I'm sure that drives a lot of people fucking crazy. But there's so many gags that happen, before the dialogue even starts, kind of. Like there's the whole Jaws theme coming through the clouds, and it's the airplane, and then that white zone, red zone bit, man, it's so classic and so good.
It was so funny. I've never seen this movie before, by the way.
What? Oh my God.
Oh. I didn't know if it was going to be one of those ones I'd watch and, I see how everybody else might think it's funny, but didn't age well. I was crying. Yeah. I was laughing hard.
I'll bet. And there have to be a few things that you spotted in here of like, oh, people say that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely Stryker, like that, where you just like, oh, okay.
Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Exactly. That's a really good one.
Don't Call Me Shirley.
Don't Call Me Shirley, another one. But that whole, don't give me any of your white zone shit. We both know you just want me to have an abortion.
Yeah, why don't you say what you mean here?
Yeah, that's right. Just say it. And then, go ahead.
That gag is hilarious. When I was watching this 2 nights ago, I made it a point to think, how are we going to do this show without talking about every single gag that we found funny? Because this would be a 7-hour long show. I started to write them down, on my phone, and I just quit about 30 minutes in because there's already 50 things. I suppose we're probably talking, to an audience who's seen this, but if you haven't, I don't even know how you would prepare somebody for it.
No, because the thing is, too, yes, exactly. Well, that's just the thing. Even Casey said it's like she didn't. There's so many sight gags. There's so many things that if you aren't watching it, like reading the signs, so to speak, and just any of the, and then just the body language of people and stuff, you really have to just all those subtleties. But I think that's what's cool about movies like this too, because I have to have seen this movie 100 times. I mean, without exaggeration, and probably more. And there's still stuff that in fact, I've got one coming out. I never noticed. I'll just tell you, when she's asked the lady, she goes, do you care for something to read? And she goes, do you have something light? And she goes, well, I have a leaflet about famous Jewish sports legends.
All right, I'm going to text you my last question.
Damn it! Son of a bitch. But I never really put those two together of like why it's a leaflet, because we don't have a whole bunch to report here,
I will tell you, Amy, I would have got that one right.
Well, I feel like my last one is really hard, but I'll try to think of something else just in case. I also noticed something that before the movie even started that I've never seen before. On the ratings, it'll say it's rated R for violence with a V and drugs is a D or whatever. This had an OC next to it. Do you have any guesses as to what that might warn you about?
OC.
I'm not going to interrupt, or reveal it, but mine said OD.
OD.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense too.
Is that a oncological doctor? Like Factor? Okay, I don't know. OCOD. No, I give up.
Is it like offensive content that back then was fine, but today we find questionable?
Yes, it is outdated cultural depiction.
Interesting.
And I thought that was really, because we have this conversation all the time.
Exactly.
I've never seen it on the ratings before, but it is an actual rating, I guess.
So they're adding that in to
They're just
basically
warning
say
you.
that this used to be funny. There's so much of that in here too.
But I thought that was very interesting.
And I only knew that because I was watching my favorite movie, Song of the South, the other day, and it had that.
I probably have that on fucking Dumbo now.
Oh yeah.
So
everything, anything
for sure, actually.
1960s Disney probably has that.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I've told that. I tell this all the time. Every time we get into this conversation, I talk about the Michigan J. Frog episode of Bugs Bunny. It's my favorite Bugs Bunny cartoon of all time. I love it so much. But you can't find the original anymore because when the guy's in there, the frog is in there rehearsing and he's singing "Everybody do the Michigan Rags," and so the guy goes out and he puts up a sign and he's just like, open tonight. Whatever. He holds out his hand and nobody goes in, and then he runs out and he puts up a sign, free admission, and he throws his arm out and nobody goes in. Well, they took this part out, but the way he actually got everybody in there was he put a sign up that said free beer, and everybody could go in there. And so at some point between then and now, we've decided that free beer is offensive to children. So what do you think?
Well, I thought it was going to be a lot worse than that.
I mean, but again, it's Bugs Bunny. This is late 70s, early 80s when that was fun. But anyway, so here's the thing that I was wondering about this movie. I want to try to point out a few things as we go through, just because I think these ones are going to be really funny to watch with our smaller kids. Basically with our kids. I mean, I think Jack and Emma might have escaped a lot of these and sort of have at least an idea of what we're talking about in some of these things. But as we get to them, I'll point them out. But I mean, I can remember going places where they would have the Hare Krishnas there, and the airport was a big one, and they would the flower for religious consciousness or whatever. Would you like to make a donation or whatever? And I would just be terrified of those people as a kid, just wearing the robes and shaved heads and stuff. And now that just seems normal to me. That's just what people wear and how they are.
So I was wondering about that too, because I know that was a big, huge deal in the 70s, early 80s, but did it die off for some specific reason? You don't see that much anymore. I mean, I don't guess I've ever seen them in person. So was there, Jared, if there was some specific reason why we don't see those anymore?
I just know that they don't make their money by begging anymore. Like, it's not really that. They just have... like, for example, there's a restaurant here in Dallas, apparently, that's just completely run by Hare Krishna monks or whatever, and apparently it's amazing. But, that's what they're doing here. So I don't know the answer to the question. It's maybe somebody on the chat room. But they I mean, that's just it. So Kate on the chat room points out, and I was going to bring this up, I mean, before 9/11... you could go with your loved ones through security and go watch their plane take off, and you didn't even have to have a ticket.
And be there when they walked off the plane.
Could be there when they walked off the plane too. Yeah. So now, it's funny because there was like a curve in the advertising because you'd always have those like travel suitcase company or whatever, and you'd see the kid running to daddy down the jetway or whatever. Well, they had to switch that to baggage claim. And then smoking or non, I can remember flying in planes where my parents smoked, and
I could not imagine that.
They still had ashtrays on for a long.
The ashtrays, and then there would be gum in there and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, but it was brutal. But here, smoking or non means the actual ticket. The actual ticket is smoking.
And it's still smoking as he gets on the plane.
I noticed it was smoking, and I didn't even understand why.
Yeah.
That's when I knew I was in for it.
Yeah, when he just like, smoky or not smoking, please. Then and it just, just smoking on his way in there. And then so, I mentioned the Mayo Clinic in 5 questions, but obviously that's fucking hilarious. And then he gets a call from Mr. Ham. So
ham on 5, hold the Mayo.
Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of shit where you like when I was a kid, we'd catch one of those lines and just, I mean, that would be it. Like we'd just say it constantly all the time, So
I started to get this feeling that I was going to miss some gag, that something was supposed to be funny that I wasn't picking up on or something like that, because it's so quick fire and there's just so many of them.
Yeah. And I think, and here, in this, so I think that the movie's kind of divided into 2. It's divided into before the airport, before he's talking to the airport, before the airport becomes involved in the whole thing, and you're just following Ted around. Everybody's getting settled on the plane. So there's a lot more sight gags, I think, and then where you get into once we cross into the airport itself, there's a lot more of that like ultra literal comedy, where you say something and then you literally go do it, and it's okay, that's fucking hilarious. But this is a big one. Like when most people listening to this probably not most. I mean, a large portion of the people listening to this won't remember full service gas stations and why it's funny that the guy was up there washing the windows, and why it's funny that the guy brings the credit card machine and slides his credit card, and you got
he pops the hood.
And the pilot is paying for gas or whatever. Like, it just, so damn funny. Those are the kinds of things where, those gags are 100% going to get lost at some point in the generational situation that we've got, with the switch happening. But there's this writing, and again, just the way that Leslie Nielsen delivers all of his lines, it makes me want to go watch The Naked Gun, because it's an hour and a half of just that, But when Stryker sits down, and the lady who has some really great lines in this movie, but she's just like nervous, and he goes, yeah. She's like, first time? He goes, no, I've been nervous lots of times. I mean, that's just like shit. That's like the wit of my friend Scott Simons. Like, that's how he is. I mean, like, but there's no off switch. So like, every time you say something, he has something like that he says back. And like, it's always a win. It always lands, just one of those gifted minds. But I love, basically this starts that whole trend of him moving from seat to seat and spilling his guts until they off themselves, That
old lady. I didn't see it coming, and that was hanging. So funny. You just see her feet.
Yeah.
Well, and so that gag is funny, as it goes on, but even before that, it cuts back and she's hanging there, she goes to put on like her headphones, and he keeps talking, and she just like heavy exhales and takes them back off. Like,
it's the perfect.
Okay, here we go.
It's the perfect look. I even wrote that. Yeah, she gives him the look that I give to people when I sit down. The last thing that you guys know this from listening to the show, I don't want you to talk to me on the airplane if I sit next to you, I'm there to ride and sleep. And she just does the most perfect, oh God, like, I'm going to listen to this.
Yep.
And it's just so good. And then of course, he finishes his story, and there she is, just hanging there. She goes, that's a shame you two don't get along. Look, I mean, she's just got such nice, what does she say? Something hanging breasts.
Well, first she says she's like got such like a darling figure, which is like such an old lady thing to say.
Yeah.
That she's got those pouting supple breasts.
That's what it is. pouting supple breasts and nice hips. It's a shame
firm
you can't.
thighs.
Firm thighs. Yeah. It's a shame you can't get along, you know. So sight gags. I mean, one of the sight gags here is you see the nun reading Boy's Life, and then the little kid reading Nun's Life, and it's just like a nun surfing, you know, and he's just all stoked about it.
That's the thing about this movie is, I mean, I've seen this movie multiple times, but I've never sat down in a seat and watched this movie. It's always just been on, you know?
Yeah. Gotcha.
So I've definitely seen the whole thing by seeing bits and pieces, and that was the thing is like, there's so many visual things that I probably have missed just because I wasn't sitting and watching. I was just listening to the stupid shit they're saying. Like,
yeah, yeah, exactly. And, you know, we talked about, you know, we have clearance. Roger. What's our Victor? I mean, that's got to be one of the most famous movie dialogue things of all time, you know? And they do it again in Airplane 2. I guess it's been long enough to where I haven't seen the Airplane 2 in a long time. So I get a lot of the things mixed up because they sort of rehash everything. But they just, you know, again, it's just done again, you know, kind of thing.
And I don't think that it was the same guys who did this one. The Zuckers and Abrahams who did Airplane 2.
Oh, it wasn't. Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
I was reading that they passed up the opportunity to do Airplane 2. Now, maybe that just means immediately, and maybe they did it years later, but it seemed to me like they were insinuating that they had done all the gags that they could do, and that was it. And anything else would just be trying to pile on for money's sake.
Right. And, you know, but I mean, they do recycle a bunch of them in Airplane 2. I mean, in Airplane 2, the little boy that visits the cockpit has a puppy named Scraps. And his thing which I'm going to sort of point out all the shit that he says to him on this. But at that one, he's just like, Joey, you like it when Scraps holds onto your leg and runs up and down, rubs up and down, you know, like it's that kind of shit. But they have so there's Over and there's Captain on the second one. There's Captain Dunn and then Captain Unger, and so he'll be like, well, I was over Unger and Unger was underdone, you know, like because they were all together in the war. Oh, didn't you guys bunk together? Yeah, I was over Unger and Unger was underdone. Just, you know, I mean, that's
so silly.
I don't mind that kind of recycling. You know what I mean? Like, I feel, you know, it's like the Hot Shots movies. If you guys have never seen those, they're really good. And there's 3 of them, I think. But that's just it. They sort of just get away with doing the same thing, but it's not like a normal sequel to a normal comedy where, you know, for example, like the Blues Brothers. If I've never seen any of the other Blues Brothers movies, but I'm told that it's like it's kind of just the same old gags, you know. But that to me isn't funny. Like this kind of stuff is funny redone, if that makes sense. Just because this is just such silliness. But the one thing that I really never put together in the bar scene is that he goes, this is the roughest bar ever. You would never want to be caught dead in this place. Like, this place is so rough. And I never put it together. I mean, I remember seeing the Girl Scouts fight or whatever, but for some reason, it never really dawned on me that it's just her head goes through the jukebox and the Bee Gees come on, and all of a sudden everybody's like, well, fuck it, let's dance. And it's just, everybody's happy and just dancing, and so good.
Did it occur to you, Jarrett, watching that how sped up that version of Staying Alive was?
Oh, you couldn't use it for CPR, right? Like, that's the thing. Right? Did you guys know this? This is a fucking public service announcement. I'm not joking. When you do CPR, you're supposed to have Staying Alive in your head. That's the tempo.
Oh, yeah. At first, I was afraid. I was petrified.
No. Staying Alive.
I don't think y'all are making the same joke, Eric.
Staying alive. Oh. What do you... Oh, I will survive. I got it. You're trying to tell them...
It's from The Office.
God damn it. Shit.
You don't remember you don't remember Dwight cutting the face off of the CPR doll?
Doing the Hannibal Lecter
don't remember
thing.
Everybody in the chat room knows but me. Like, it's just...
I thought that's what you were doing.
No, that's real. That's a real thing. I'm telling you, like,
yeah, there was actually a news article I saw that some kid, he ended up saving someone's life doing CPR because he learned that from The Office.
Yeah,
like, you know, like, which was kind of funny.
Yeah. I just thought that you were making the Office joke all along.
I can't fucking... If you guys are going to tell me that that's not legit and it's just an Office episode...
No, I think it is actually true.
Because I heard that way before I knew The Office was a thing. And
the CPR lady says, do this to the beat of Staying Alive. So it's got to be a real thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, so I'm just reading what they everybody... Okay, so it is real. They just used it in a CPR class. And, okay, so I'm not an idiot, but I just... Man, I guess how many times do you have to get through all these fucking things to where I start to get the jokes? Because I watched...
I've watched The Office 25 times from start to finish.
Oh my God.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, so, I mean, you know, I guess... It's almost like whenever I talk to... Because I haven't even seen them enough to even have a conversation about it. Like, I remember...
You didn't even finish it.
I didn't even finish it, but I know some... funny shit that I remember, but it's not like Seinfeld where I've seen most of those a couple of times. So like if somebody's like, hey, did you see that one? I'll go, yeah, you know, but I really don't remember, you know, like I just have never been one. I don't guess there's really any television show that I just know like that. I mean, you know,
I think this and Arrested Development are the only things that I've seen more than twice, more than 5 times. But yeah, everything else has never stuck with me the way that The Office does.
That's interesting.
For sure.
Well, it certainly seems like it sticks with everybody, though. I mean, that's just it. Like I'm sort of odd man out in several groups that I'm in because the girls, the Not Your Girlfriend's girls, Liv and Gigi, and their mom do that shit all the time. And then you guys will come in here and you guys do it, and you know, it's bizarre. You know, because everybody speaks this language. I mean, the chat room right now is lighting up with all these people that are talking about it. And I'm just like, God damn it. You know, like I feel left out. It's just, man, there's a lot of those. There are a lot of those. By the way, speaking of television, we are almost done. I think one more episode, of Yellowstone.
Yes.
And holy ballsack. If y'all haven't watched that show, you gotta. Like,
it's good.
It's up there in my, like, top 5 of, like, shows to watch.
And I think it's so good because guys and girls, I think, like it equally.
Yeah, totally.
Because sometimes it's hard to find a show that both of us want to watch.
I get that. Yeah, you guys, and that's just, so...
See, we watch a lot of Teen Mom and RuPaul's Drag Race, and Jarrett's just in, so I don't have that problem in this household.
Well, but the thing is that we'll find something that we want to watch together, and then that's just what we focus on, and then she watches everything else without me.
Same.
So
that's how we are.
I think that's y'all's thing too.
But
right?
I just
Jared
have more
didn't
time.
watch Bridgerton with me, like you know, like
no, yeah, I've never seen.
I didn't even ask. I just make like executive decisions. On
I've not seen Pretty Little Liars. I've not seen.
Pretty Little Liars.
You did it? Oh, I don't know.
What's
Big Little
What's
Lies?
a Bridgerton?
It's the new it's based off some books. It's like a new period piece, like
and then it's just got a lot of sex.
Got a hot Duke. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Books, I already hate it.
Yeah.
Books.
Yeah, nobody said we had to read. What is this, a test?
Ugh.
Would you gentlemen care to order your dinners?
Bet, babe. Slide a piece of the porter. Drinks, I run the job.
Looky here. I can dig grease and trumpet on some butter and drag him through the garden.
Excuse me. I happened to be passing, and I thought you might like some coffee.
Oh, that's very nice of you. Thank you. Well, won't you sit down?
Thank you. Cream?
No, thank you. I take it black. Like my man.
I think that's
Sean,
so
thank
funny.
you for choosing that one.
There's the OC that we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. And while I want to be offended, because of the millennial stuff, all I keep thinking is, man, the leg room on that airplane.
Man, it must have been nice.
Ugh.
Well, I like my coffee like I like my men.
With cream.
Black and with a huge dick.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jared,
you know what I mean?
welcome back.
Oh, hey, guys. How'd it go?
How do you take your coffee?
Oh, black. I like it black, like my men.
Okay.
I actually say that every time somebody fucking asks me if I want coffee. Like, every fucking time I say it. And, in fact, my kid heard me say that the other day. I said something, and I was just like, black, like my men. He was like, what, Daddy? Absolutely nothing. I said absolutely nothing.
I didn't say anything.
You don't need to know.
That relationship was always funny to me as a kid, and then I really like the Jim never has a second cup of coffee at home. You know,
I wonder why.
Yeah. Jim never vomits at home.
Vomits at home.
I even thought that was funny as a kid, and I don't really know why I thought
I don't think I would have thought that. I don't think I would have understood it.
Yeah, now I think it's one of those things where I thought it was funny, and now I think it's funny for a different reason.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Man, I wish I saw this when I was younger.
Yeah, I mean, man, this was definitely one of those ones where we're just quoting it all the time.
I think the first time I saw this movie,
I don't know
in
what
seventh grade.
Oh, that's perfect.
And it was
I don't know
hilarious.
what the sweet spot is age-wise for getting enough of the jokes, but not being so old that you find everything stupid.
I think you just got to start watching it earlier, and then the more times you see it, the more the jokes make sense. Like, I think that you just get more out of it every time because you understand more stuff.
My 8-year-old would not understand, I don't think, any of these jokes, but if he sees us laughing at it, he's like, okay, then that's supposed to be funny, and that's kind of where you learn humor, I think, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely
Maybe
get that.
we need to start doing that. Except for if you watch this, all he would remember is just boobs.
Well, we've been keeping Everett into the PG-13 world lately.
But we watched Goonies, and those kids swear a lot. And, like, every time it's a big deal. Oh, Dad, is this appropriate? Like,
that's how Henry is, too. I'm like, get over it, man. I mean, I know. Thanks for following the rules, but
they're so used to watching this Disney bullshit.
I'm such an asshole about it, though. Like, we'll be watching Wolverine, and he'll be like, this is bullshit. Like, and Everett will go, and I'll go, are you okay? Did it hurt? Are you all right? Are you gonna... And he's like, why do you always do that? And I'm like, I'm just making sure you're okay.
Your tender little ears.
Are you gonna be all right?
Yeah, I mean, it is a thing, right? I mean, they're taught not to
bullying
say
and
that.
hazing.
Then there's just this whole deal, and it's like, I mean, I was thinking about this, and again, I talk about this a lot on the Rockstar Dad show, but I was never censored. So my parents, I mean, we got HBO when I was in the 3rd grade, and it was just like a free for all. And I think most of the time because we didn't have people watching. They weren't watching what we were watching. They didn't give a fuck. They were doing what they were doing. We were doing what they were doing. It was the same with music too, And in fact, there's the age-old story that I tell. My family all knows this story about the time in 5th grade when I was sick, and for some reason my dad had to stay home from work. I think it's the only time fucking ever that it happened, which explains what happened. Because I come out of the doctor and he goes, well, you're out of school for the rest of the day. What, you want to go see a movie? Sure. What do you want to go see? Bachelor Party? All right, let's go. My dad took me to see Bachelor Party in the 5th grade. And
I mean, Jack tells that story about Neighbors too.
Oh my God, man, that one hurts a smidge. I mean, that one. Yeah, that one.
Okay, did you ever take your kids to see Deadpool thinking that it was like a kid's superhero movie? Because you remember all those people that were really pissed off.
Yeah.
No, Jared pretty much did that.
I got in trouble for that.
Okay, I thought maybe you had done that.
Me and Jack watched it, and she came home and was just like, what are you guys watching? We're watching Deadpool. And like right then is just all the filth, Florin filth. So, she's just like...
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, he was young. I mean, it was right when we first moved here. So, I mean, he was probably only 9 or 10.
It was bad. Jack knew what it was. He knew he wasn't supposed to see this.
Yeah, he just told me that he'd already seen it before. So I was like,
which is his move. It's been his move forever.
Oh,
he just
smart.
uses that all the
time.
time.
Well, that's how he got us to take him to Neighbors 2.
He said he saw Neighbors 1 with his grandma. Which is impossible because that's Jared. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, maybe it wasn't that bad. I think it might just be a couple things. And it's like, I swear, the theater goes black and the movie starts, just beginning credits type of starts. And all of a sudden I start having flashbacks of the first movie. And I'm like, what have we done?
Yeah, Neighbors. The Neighbors ones, they both start with them having sex, and you're just, okay, great. Okay. So this one, I think, so this is another one where I I know I have to have gotten it before because it seems weird that I wouldn't have thought this was funny before, but it caught me off guard where they're laying there and he goes, my orders came in, and then he's just like, we're going to be bombing some supply houses coming in under the radar at 0100 hours. She's like, when will you be back? That's classified. You know, like he gave her the
I did not ever catch that until this watching, and I died.
Oh my God. He gives her the whole mission to like, there's so much of it I couldn't write it down, you know?
Oh God.
But the Joey bits are also things that we would just say to one another as kids. And me and my friends from back home, we just type that shit to each other. My friend Eric Walker, he's Barry that calls in. Me and him talk this kind of movie. So in Airplane 2, there's these two business guys, and one of them is dropping the other business guy off at the airport, and so they're walking in with their briefcases or whatever, and the one just goes, and they's like, okay, and you know, don't forget this one, and the files and this or whatever, and he goes, okay, and he goes, and Bob, don't forget to feed the cat. Will do, Bob. And they kiss on the mouth, and then the other one leaves, you know, and like, to little kids, that shit was fucking hilarious, you know? Just so me and Eric Walker see each other, we just, will do, Bob. You know? Anyway, okay. So, but the Joey shit of just like, you know, you ever been in an airplane before? No, sir, I've never been in a cockpit before. Well, have you ever seen a grown man naked? I mean, that's just some shit that we would go around and say. And then, you know, of course, the next time he's like, Joey, you ever hang around the gymnasium?
So apparently that line was supposed to be, have you ever seen a grown man's cock?
Oh, boy. Wow. Interesting. Okay. I wonder if that would have put it.
The actor, I don't know that it had anything to do with that, but what I read was that the actor just, so a lot of these guys up until this point were just very well respected dramatic actors with not just no slapstick, you know, ridiculous humor in their portfolio, but like just had never done a comedic movie at all.
Yeah.
And so he knew that it was funny. He knew none of it should be taken seriously, but just apparently had a problem with that one line. And
I think I get it, man.
He just couldn't get the cock out of his mouth.
I think it's funnier.
Roadhouse.
Yeah, with him just saying naked. It's just so like, wait,
because
what?
you kind of have to think about it.
Yeah,
yeah. The cock
like gladiator
thing is,
movies.
That's the thing, though, is that like we don't. I think it's regional, I guess, because I think they use the word cock a lot, like in the Northeast, but they definitely do in the UK, and we don't really say that down here. You know,
my mother does.
She says cocksucker.
Yeah, my mom says cocksucker like 14 times a day.
If you're referring to a guy's penis, that you say dick, right? Like it's a dick or a penis.
Yeah, dick.
I agree.
We don't ever say cock. Like I don't ever talk about somebody's
wiener.
Cock. Wiener, Weedle.
Schlong.
Yeah. I call mine cowboy. You know?
Yeah. I call mine Uncle Gary.
Oh, that's fucking amazing, actually. I love the Kareem bit. You know, that was awesome because he was such a big star already. You know, he had already played in college and was huge, and then he got drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks.
Pink Floyd wrote that song about him.
That's right. Hey, teachers, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's what I thought it said. Mm-hmm. Probably right around this time. And
he had already been in Enter the Dragon, hadn't he? Like when this had come out?
Well, whatever year that would have come out. Yeah. Is he in Enter the Dragon or Return of the... I think he's in Return of the Dragon, actually.
Whichever one. Whichever fucking one. Don't fact check me.
Yeah, I think...
It doesn't matter. Enter the Dragon was 73. What was the other one? Return of the Dragon?
Return of the Dragon, yeah.
Return of the Dragon was 72. How does Return of the Dragon come out before Enter the Dragon?
Jesus Christ, I don't know.
Are they unrelated?
Are we sure that he was in one of those? That seems awfully early.
Isn't he?
Just put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar karate movie. Here, you want to get my wife on it? Hey, baby, will you find out what karate movie he was in? We'll wait. We'll talk some more about his basketball. Yeah, he joined the Los Angeles Lakers with Magic Johnson, Horace Grant.
Game of Death.
Oh, it's Game of Death.
There you go. Okay, so neither of those. What year, babe?
1978.
So yes, it was before this. Yes, it was. I'm excited though that you like so many Bruce Lee movies.
I don't. I just knew he had been in a karate movie.
Oh, okay.
And I was trying, and I've never seen it, so I'm trying to imagine what a 7'3", 180-pound person doing karate looks like.
It actually looks hilarious. I'm looking at a picture right now, and I
bet. Yeah. Remember that guy on Street Fighter that was like from India, and he had the really long arms that you could Dawson, I think.
Yeah, totally.
Whoa.
Hey, Eric, do you like movies about gladiators?
Yeah, I like the way that the kid never really kind of even seems to acknowledge that just all of this stuff is happening.
Right. Something just breaks it right after he says anything. Somebody else will start talking. The whole mental hospital scene is just great. There's, it's just going through there and seeing all the patients or whatever. And then there's Lieutenant Hurwitz that thinks he's Ethel Merman.
I think it starts here, and I think they do it a couple of other times. There's like, they say something, he goes, well, what's that?
Yeah.
He goes, well, it's a building with patients in it, but that's not important right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's a problem in the cockpit. What is it? Well, it's the place where the pilots fly the plane. But that's
not important right
that's
now.
Right.
And a hospital.
A hospital. It's a place with patients, but that's not important.
I think at least one of those I had to pause it.
Because you were laughing so hard?
I was laughing so hard.
Yeah.
And I was by myself. Derek came down from working and watched 15 minutes of it. And I wished he could have watched the whole movie with me, because you can imagine Derek watching this movie.
Yeah.
I would probably laugh more at him laughing. Yeah. But God, it was so funny.
Yeah, that's right. Because she says, she's like talking to him, and he goes, well, we got a note from headquarters. Headquarters? What's that? It's a big building with generals. But that's not important. So good.
His painting also.
Oh yeah, just the fact that guy's posing for it. Just strike her.
The guy with his...
And he's got the baby.
And then he just tosses the baby over to the over the thing. And then the other flight attendant is the mom from Seventh Heaven, which used to be my once a week show that I would watch for a spot of goodness.
To watch that too.
Yeah, you just get a little dose of goodness each week. It made you feel better, And but when she borrows the guitar, first of all, it's just hilarious that the nun is just sitting there, and all of a sudden, so the plane's full. But all of a sudden, there's nobody sitting next to her, and there's just a guitar out, Can I borrow your guitar? And she goes up to the girl, and she just goes, oh, hey, what's your name? She goes, oh, my name's Mo. What's yours? Oh, it's Lisa. Oh, you have a guitar. Like, I didn't notice that when you first sat down, But I actually thought about, I did not have time, but I thought about working this up for take one and just playing it for you guys. But Chris Burney sings this fucking all the time. He'll just come into the dressing room. There was only one river. There was only one sea. And he sounds exactly like that. And it's never not funny.
Why did this girl
I had forgotten this.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Why did this girl go full on fish face?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
what kind of a disease does she have that she just goes fish face when
the IV comes out, right? Yeah, yeah. And also, like, what? Have you ever been in a plane with a hospital bed in there before?
I mean, this plane looked awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Where were they? Here's another thing. Where were they dragging the bodies to? There's not storage back there.
Right. Maybe the bathroom. They're just stuffing them in there.
Yeah, they're all just
maybe
piled
they
up.
just pushed them out the back.
Maybe. Could be, yeah.
Was there overhead?
Well, that was a huge jet that only seemed to have about 15 rows of seats from front to back.
It looked like it had like 30 or 40 people in there. You're right. Yeah. Sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you. Well, then obviously, there's a few of the OC moments. I guess that's what we'll call them from now.
Yeah.
The Peace Corps thing.
Yeah, because they joined the Peace Corps here. And
fucking lost it.
And it's always, this one gets me every time. because the Malambas, that's what it is. And just the entrance.
With traditional...
Yeah.
With traditional English teaching techniques.
That's right. I'm sure that it was that. And she's just like, now, this Tupperware is perfect for the upcoming monsoon season and will also help you stretch your food dollar.
She tells him for leftovers.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have enough to eat as it is.
Exactly.
They don't have leftovers.
And then he's like, I started with basic calisthenics and I'm graduating to actual recreational sports. And he just hands the guy the ball, and all of a sudden they're the fucking Globetrotters.
Just dunking it, and it just step back, fadeaway jumpers is so fucking good.
Yeah, it's what's funny about that is, again, we talk about it all the time. That is so fucking funny, but you'd never be able to make that now. No. I mean, ever.
Well, but the thing is they could have gone over the top with that joke. I feel like that shows a lot of restraint, because really all they do is kind of juxtapose what you're seeing on the screen with, kind of the way he's describing it.
Sure.
But nothing that he says is offensive even a little bit.
Yeah,
and nothing that they're doing is offensive even a little bit. It's just the connection that we make in our own minds that kind of goes, okay, well, but I almost think you could do that. I think there's a way to do that gag today. Maybe not exactly like that, but I think there's a way. I don't want to try to figure it out, but I think that there is.
Yeah, I mean, but it's actually a really good point. I mean, they don't make fun of the way that they talk, which would be an easy one. They don't, they didn't put like horns through their noses and shit, and that'd be an easy gag too. I mean, they really didn't. They did sort of just make it count. And, I mean, maybe that shows the brilliance of it, because and they probably could have gotten away with a ton more had they wanted to. I think this is like when the second person kills himself, and it's the dude that just falls on his sword. And that guy, I bet if we figure out who that is, that dude's like in every movie ever. Like I think he's the guy from Gremlins. He's always in.
He's still alive. He's 94 years old now.
Wow.
Is the list of movies just
and you're
insane?
right, he has been in. What'd you say?
Is the list of movies just insane?
Yeah, it was like 300 movies long.
Wow.
That is crazy. But yeah, you recognize the guy. He's kind of like always the villainous, Asian military guy, or he's, something like that. That dude made a career out of that. And then here is Joey. Have you ever been in a Turkish prison? Again, this is all shit that fucking Chris Burney will just say to people all the time. Just, Jarrett, like I just woke up, you ever been in a Turkish prison? Man. So I always loved the bit where the doctor, they go, and she goes, I'm looking for anybody who might be a doctor. And the lady goes, sir, excuse me, but are you a doctor? And he goes, that's right. And he's wearing a stethoscope.
Like it's always on there.
Yeah, I think this guy is a doctor.
And then
there's no way of knowing.
So then he goes to the first lady, and that egg gag is so funny. And the best part of that whole thing is that nobody else ever gets that symptom. You know what I mean? They do this whole thing for him to diagnose what's going on the plane, where she spits out an egg, he gets another one, she spits out a he cracks it, and a little bird flies out and goes all over the place, and then they never touch that again.
So weird.
And then he's
so funny.
And then this is where he goes, we've got to get these people to a hospital. A hospital? What is it? It's a big building with patients, but that's not important right now. And this is so. Here's another one of those Scott Simons lines. Is when he goes, "We've got to get this plane. We've got to land this plane. Can you take a guess at?" He goes, "Can you take a guess at when we'll be able to land?" He goes, 2 hours. He goes, "You can't guess for 2 hours."
It's gonna take you 2 hours.
Yeah. And then there's, of course, actually somebody 5 questions got this as kind of a bit, and it really was funny when he goes, "What were the choices for dinner tonight?" "Well, we had steak or we had fish." He goes, "Yes, I remember. I had lasagna." I know that I'm just going through all of the fucking bits that I always said that's what this would be if we ever did this movie.
It's an Anchorman. There's nothing you can do about it. What is there? What are you going to talk about? The substance of the story?
Yeah, I mean, there really is. Again, I could go off on airplanes, and I'm sure that I will before this is done.
Hibachi?
You know?
Yeah, there's always time.
That is. We can always make time for hibachi. Haven't been in quite some time. But as far as sight gags go, there's there's 2 right in a row. There's the one where he's describing the symptoms, and the captain is having the symptoms as he's doing it, and then there will be then they will start to sweat, and then they will lose control over one of their limbs, and then flatulence. Yeah, and then uncontrollable flatulence, and then they just turn into a ball of jelly. And again, that hasn't happened to one other person. On everybody else is just kind of laying there under a blanket or whatever, you know. But then they do the thing where it starts to go down, and it goes dong, and the sign lights up, and it's like rows 11 to 21, no smoking. Rows 21 and back, it's just got a guy fucking a girl. Like,
can't do that.
Oh man, I love it so much. This one is definitely up there. And then of course, you know, the entire autopilot thing from start to finish is funny. Everything that includes that guy is hilarious. You know, from the blowjob to, like, even when Ted comes in to get him out of the way and he just fucking tosses him aside, you know. Yeah, and he's always grabbing her boobs from behind. So here's where I'm saying the movie sort of changes. Like, the pace of the movie switches right here, because when they go to Murdoch, which is Lloyd Bridges, so that's Jeff Bridges and Bro Bridges' dad. And so they go to him, and again, like, crazy great actor, you know, very, you know, awarded and all that shit. But this is when the whole movie changes, when they get to that, and he's just like, you know, get me this, go to this, go, you know, get this, blah 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 blah. You know, he's like, man, I picked the wrong week to stop smoking. And that's when that. And
I love that gag. But I like even more the gag where the guy will be coming through to be like, and some coffee. And the guy goes, "No, thanks, I'm good."
Yeah, no thanks.
That guy turned out to be, I think, my favorite character of this whole movie.
Yeah.
What's his name? I didn't even look
Johnny.
at Johnny.
Yeah, so
Jesus.
He basically is in all these movies in some form or fashion, but he's like the thing that when we watched this as children, that's the stuff that we would say all the time was the tower, Rapunzel. And
he was so funny.
Again, Chris Burney says, "Did I leave the iron on?" Which is in 2, but you know, what do you make it? What do you make of this? Well, I could make a hat or a brooch or a pterodactyl. You know, and then he's like, "There's a sale at Penny's." Just, I mean, all of the Johnny's great. And he's amazing in the second one too, and then he plays the court reporter in Kentucky Fried Movie. If you guys are interested in more things like this.
And now, Jared Goes to the Movies presents everyone's favorite podcast game show. It's time for 5 questions, where we ask 6 questions, and the high score is 7. Here's your host, Jared Reddick.
And thank you very much for that amazing intro. And welcome to 5 Questions. It really is America's favorite podcast game show, because it's the only one that actually exists to our knowledge, and we're not doing any research to rebut that. Also, I just said all of that just so I could say the word rebut. I'm very excited about this one, and I'm going to go backwards. I think on this intro because we have a little bit of a fish out of water situation here. And coming up, as you guys know, is our Tournament of Champions and our tournament of people who are not very good at this fucking game. And for sure, on the latter of those two is going to be our first guest, Mr. Vinnie Cataldo, who is 1-13, ladies and gentlemen. He is 1-13. You know, there's nothing wrong with that, and I can honestly say that there are some that are just as bad. But you know what? I feel like one of these days you're just gonna find your groove, and then it's just like it's from there. It's no telling what you can do.
He's here for the company.
One day, hopefully. Now, the other three players, and this is the reason why I said that you're a fish out of the water. The other three players are all candidates for our Tournament of Champions, the winners bracket. And with 7 wins and 14 attempts, let's give it up for Wendy Madda, everybody. Wendy Madda, Wendy Madda, Wendy Madda. Still weird hearing that?
Yeah, it's still weird.
I think you're on my phone the other way still. I guess I should change that or whatever. But to be fair, my ex-wife stayed her name of when she was married to me, Reddick, until about a month before she got a divorce, I changed it to her new name, and now she went back to my name again. So I just fucking
People
leave
don't
shit.
change in my phone.
Yeah,
their maiden names from college.
Yeah,
it doesn't change.
I definitely have a lot of friends, like girls who are friends who are their name from high school.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. That's definitely.
There are people who changed my name on their phone like that day.
Well, yes, and I'm certain that that's probably ceremonious and you know. But anyway, welcome to the show, Wendy. We're glad you're here, and man, that internet connection is fucking singing.
It's beautiful.
Computer, not the internet.
All you had to do was get rid of something.
Get the computer.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. It was not the internet. It was the computer.
Right over her.
All right. With us is Jason Ellsworth.
Got it.
Jason Ellsworth, our former resident COVID survivor, now getting overshadowed by a member of the cast. Jason, how you doing, buddy? Exactly the same?
Exactly the same as Friday. So, yeah, nothing new.
Well, I'll move on quickly then, so I don't put you under a lot of pressure. And of course, our another one of our favorites, 10 and 15. He's 10 out of 15 wins, guys. Greg Lee, who will for sure be in our Tournament of Champions. Greg Lee, of course, always, no matter what is going on in his life, always manages to dress for the occasion, and he's full on dressed as an old school airline pilot tonight, and it's awesome. It's the Rex Kramer. You've got the full Rex Kramer look happening. Yeah, well, it looks great, and I want to wish you all the best of luck. Now, is everybody able to write down tonight? Oh my gosh, that is so great. Everybody, wow. All right, we'll give it up for them. They're all going to write down their answers tonight. That's the way we do it around here. We hadn't had Jared Spear on here in a long time. You know, speaking of never writing your answers down, he's got to be coming up soon. Yeah.
He'll be on with me and Wendy in Wayne's World next month.
Oh, okay. Well, that'd be a good movie for him. I bet you he knows that movie really well. So y'all got a little competition there. I'm going to assume that he knows that one. All right, guys. Well, you guys know how this game works. And Eric should be here by question number 6. I'm sorry. Yeah, 6. If he is not, that is okay. Amy will fill in for him. So here we go, guys. Question number 1 will, of course, be about the movie Airplane. All right. In the movie Airplane, from what clinic does the captain of the airplane get a call from about the little girl who needs a heart transplant? All right, let's go counterclockwise. Vinnie Cataldo. I just almost said Wendy Cataldo. I can't get your last name straight, Wendy. Jesus.
I gotta change my phone again.
Roadhouse. Okay, Vinnie, what you got?
I have no clue.
Oh, no. I thought this was a softball. Wendy.
The Mayo Clinic.
All right. And it does have to be specific to that. Greg Lee?
Give me ham on 5, hold the Mayo.
There you go. And Jason.
Hold the Mayo.
Hold the Mayo. Mayo Clinic is correct.
Pretty good.
Man, I really thought that was a softball.
I literally wrote down the Mayo Clinic and I crossed it out because I didn't know if that was the right one.
Always just go with your...
you gotta go with your gut.
Just go
Always
with your...
go with your gut, Vinny.
Yeah.
My gut told me not to do that.
Damn it. Damn your gut. All right, guys.
Have it removed.
Question number 2. Man, if you figure out how to have it removed, let me know, buddy. I'll follow you in. Question number 2 will, of course, be about the movie Airplane. All right. In the movie Airplane, you had a choice of 2 things for dinner. This is a 2-part question worth only 1 point. Tell me what are your choices for dinner? What 2 food items could you choose? And which one made you sick? All right, Wendy, what did you say?
For number 1, it was steak or fish, and number 2, it was fish.
All right, Greg Lee.
Oh, I actually put chicken. I don't know why.
Oh, no.
And then
Okay.
fish made me sick, and I also put it in lasagna.
All right, Jason Aylesworth, what did you say?
Lasagna.
Because Dr. Rumack had lasagna.
Steak and fish.
Fish made you sick.
All right, Vinny, what did you say?
Put fish and pasta, and I put fish. Maybe.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Jason and Wendy got that correct, guys. So that's Jason and Wendy with 2, Greg with 1, and Vinny still with 0. However, guys, remember, it's anybody's game forever. Okay, guys, let's go with question number 3, which again will, of course, be about the movie Airplane. In the movie Airplane, let's see. All right, this is a good one. In the movie Airplane, the woman, the nice older lady who could speak jive, was formerly on a television show that was perhaps one of the most popular shows of its time. What was that show? Okay, Greg Lee, what did you say? Any idea?
Yeah, I watched it when I came home from school because it was on reruns in the 70s, and that's Leave It to Beaver.
All right, Jason.
Beaver.
All right, and Vinny, any idea?
I was born in 2000. I don't know.
Okay, Wendy?
Leave It to Beaver.
All right, well, all right. I am glad you guys all got that correct. Okay, so that makes it 3 for Jason and Wendy, 2 for Greg Lee, and 0 for Vinny. Is that right, John?
Yep.
All right, let's go now to question number 4. Question number 4 will, of course, be about the movie Airplane. All right, guys. In the movie Airplane, name 3 of the 5 things Murdoch picked the wrong week to stop doing. Jason, did you name 3 of them?
Yeah, I had 4. Smoking, drinking, amphetamines, and sniffing balloons.
Okay, Vinny.
Shave, fly, and I don't know.
Okay, Wendy.
I couldn't think of anything.
You couldn't think of anything. Okay.
I was confused. I was thinking of a different character. I wasn't thinking of the right character.
Okay. All right. Greg Lee.
I had smoking, drinking, amphetamines, and acid.
There you go. Got them all. Very good. Now, this makes things interesting, because that means Jason has 4, Wendy and Greg both have 3, is that right? And then Vinny with 0. But remember, it's anybody's game, but this certainly does make it very, very interesting.
Yes, Kate, I watched the movie.
As we're going into chat room is now throwing shade on Vinny.
Oh, no.
As they should.
All right, let's go to question number 5 now, and this will do it for me. In the movie Airplane, all right, guys, this is going to be I'm trying to think. It's because you just want to make it about quotes, and I can't really just sit here and make it a quotable thing. Okay, I got one. All right, here we go. Think carefully on this one, guys. You should be able to guess this even if you don't know it. All right, in the movie Airplane, as the plane is taking off, we find a serviceman yelling out the plane to his sweetheart, who is running down the runway, like you do, at the speed of the plane, confessing her love to him as he confesses his love to her. What item does he throw to her? Vinny, what did you say?
This one goes out to Kate. His watch.
All right. And Wendy?
Pocket watch.
All right. And Greg Lee?
Pocket watch.
And then Jason?
Pocket watch.
All right, guys. Very good. All of you got that right. Now, this makes Eric's question pretty much the decider of what's going to happen in the next round. It's a very, very important question for all of you guys, except Vinny. But you know what, Vinny? Play to win. If you know it, answer it right. Okay, so it's time for Amy's
Airplane was the number 4 grossing movie in the U.S. in 1980, banking over $83 million at the domestic box office. Name any other movie in the top 10 for that year.
All right. Wendy, did you come up with a movie that you thought might have come out that same year in the top 10?
I said Grease, but I think that was actually 79. But I'm not sure.
Okay, I will just let Amy tell you guys once we're done who got it right. Greg Lee, what did you say? Anything?
One of the best movies of all time. One of my favorites, Empire Strikes Back. Number 1.
Okay, and Jason?
Yeah, you're going to embarrass me if that's right with all the Star Wars shit behind me. But I went E.T.
Okay, and then Vinny. Any guess?
I didn't write anything down. I'm going on to the next round.
Okay, just going on to the next round, feeling comfy, confident, and ready to rock. Hey, man, just so relax for a few seconds, catch your breath, and just know that you have a chance to win this thing. All right.
I won't win.
You never know.
Okay, Amy, was anybody correct?
Greg Lee was correct with The Empire Strikes Back, but he was the only one that got one from the top 10.
Only one that got one from the top 10. All right, well, Greg Lee then, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Greg Lee just made this interesting. Greg Lee just brought it to the coin toss, which screwed Jason Ellsworth over last week, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I was good last week.
Oh, okay, you got it last week. You got the coin toss? Okay. All right, so, since you are last week's winner, I will let you call it in the air, heads or tails?
Tails.
Tails, and then, so that means Greg Lee is heads. Heads it is. Not your week, Jason. Not your week. All right, so Greg Lee, basically, here's what's up. You can sit back and relax and see if Vinny can beat you with one question. Wendy, you can sit back and relax and know that you did not lose tonight. And Jason, same thing. Now, Vinny, you are going to get a chance to answer Sean's super hard question. If you get it right, you win. If you get it wrong, you're not a loser. But you didn't win, did you? It's time for Sean's questions, the 7th question, and sometimes it's hard.
All right, Vinny, 3 categories. 1, 2, or 3?
2.
What is on the cover of the magazine that Captain Over picks up at the newsstand?
I don't know. My gut's telling me. My gut's channeling Johnny Lawrence, so I'm going to say a hot babe. I don't know.
And Sean, what was it?
A gymnast on uneven bars.
What was it?
A gymnast on uneven bars.
Okay. Wait a minute. Was it a hot?
I thought you were looking for the name of it.
Hot one?
Was she hot?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, I think he was wanting to be a little bit more specific than that, Vinny. I'm sorry. Greg Lee, that does mean that you are tonight's winner. A very, very well-fought battle with all of you guys. You all played amazingly. Could not be more proud of each of you. And if you can, hang out for the show on the chat. Greg, please give our love to the wife, but not the kind of love that I'm expecting you to give her. Unless you're feeling randy.
Not my son's guest bedroom,
Jason, we will see you soon. Wendy, I'm certain that we'll talk to you. Well, we'll talk to you during Wayne's World. So, and Vinny, keep being awesome. We'll see you guys soon, okay?
No, it's dropping. It's dropping fast. Why is it doing that? Oh my God, the automatic pilot, it's deflating.
Well, lady, don't panic. On the belt line of the automatic pilot, there is a hollow tube. Now, that is the manual inflation nozzle. Pull it out and blow on it.
hell's going on up there?
Oh, it cuts right before. Obviously, you guys listening in your car can't see, but she's blowing the thing up, and then his head just starts bobbing up and down. Oh, so good, so good. So then, but yeah, I mean, again, I think this whole autopilot thing is so funny because it puts a visual to that, which you just never really, like you just hear autopilot all the time, but you never think it'd be like a blow up dude,
Well,
like
and it's Otto, OTTO, like
that's his name,
right? Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. And anytime he's out of his seat, the plane just goes into just mania.
Goes to hell, yeah. And there's, and then he says, anyone on board who knows how to fly a plane, or she says that, and it's fucking chaos, right?
Can you imagine if you were on a plane?
Yeah.
Is there anyone who knows how to fly a plane or land a plane?
Have you experienced, is there a doctor on board?
No.
Yeah,
I don't think I have.
I have several times. And
I have, and then this lady stood up and said, yeah, I have a doctorate in homeopathy from like Portland University of whatever.
They're
and
like,
the flight attendant was like, okay, please, just anyone, a real doctor?
Yeah. That's funny. Like she was asking for somebody to be on her trivia team or some shit, right? Like,
yeah. Is there someone here who can prescribe an essential oil for this person having a heart attack?
That's a really good one.
That is a really good one. I didn't pick up on homeopathy. I didn't hear what you actually said that she had a degree in.
It's just
which
a
is
fucking plane full of chiropractors.
Oh God. Okay, there we go.
I have a good buddy or an old friend of mine whose dad is an MD, and a very successful family here in town. And so when he graduated from college, all the kids went to grad school, and so he got all the family together for a dinner and told his dad that he was going to chiropractic school to see if he would have a heart attack. And apparently, my friend said it was the only time he thought his dad would ever hit him. Just the look on his face.
Sheer disappointment.
Man, I mean, no offense to any chiropractors that are listening right now. I mean,
sounds awful. I love my chiropractor too.
Yeah, I mean, Casey likes. I don't go, but I mean, I definitely.
He asks about you. He's very nice.
I've done the holistic chiropractor before, and that's wacky.
Oh, I met that guy. He was hammered.
Yeah, it's real fucked up. Like you take a plastic bag full of air from your house in there, and then he cures you of all your allergies and shit. It's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a thing. I didn't go there voluntarily, but anyway, that was at a previous time in my life.
I have a friend that's a doctor, and I've always asked her, do you stand up like on an airplane if somebody says, is anyone a doctor? And she's like, only if there's something wrong with their vagina. She's an OBGYN, and she's like, I don't want anything to do with a heart attack.
I'm glad you added that detail. It wasn't just, she's just weird.
Yeah,
she just really likes vagina.
She's a heart surgeon, but she really only wants to jump in there.
Yeah.
Vagina.
But also something that I never thought about. There's a huge liability there too.
Sure.
Oh, I bet. But if someone's delivering a baby on an airplane, well, of course she'd have to. Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely. Like you somebody needs to trach. You're not like
I'm gonna need a snorkel, an avocado.
I was gonna say every like doctor television show has that scenario. You gotta take the pin and you gotta do the thing and you gotta shove it into their throat hole.
There's a whole group of people who have dogs that do the thing where their dog jumps on you and they just go, "Hey, get down," and then they just walk on to the other thing or whatever.
We're those people.
Yeah.
No. I always run towards and then they're like, "No, it's fine." But
nobody means it when they say that. You can't just abandon the situation.
Well, anyway, we're not this bad because the Shep No gag is fucking great. I love it so much. And then basically she goes, he gets so excited when new people are around and he fucking full on attacks her. At him.
I expected to see humping.
Yeah, that would have been good.
They kept it out of there, so I don't know.
Yeah, there's another. Shit, Sean, please edit all those out. There's another great one on the signs where it says return to seat, and then it says like all run together, go back and sit down now. Like it's supposed to be supposed to be Spanish, All right, so here's a Johnny one for you, and this is where he starts to go. Stryker's going, "Mayday, Mayday," and Johnny runs in. He goes, "Mayday? Well, that's the Russian New Year. We'll have a big parade. We'll serve hors d'oeuvres."
He's so random.
Do you guys notice? And I don't know. I mean, did everyone here watch Breaking Bad at some point?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
All but the last season.
4 yeses.
Oh, man.
Okay. So the guy who, when they say check the range and he gets up and opens up the microwave, that is Mike, the bodyguard.
Oh my gosh. He must have just been really young. I did not recognize him.
Yeah, he was super young. That's Jonathan Banks that plays that role.
Wait, I missed this. Who are we talking about? Oh, you're talking about
a guy in Breaking Bad.
Got it. Understood.
But if you didn't see Breaking Bad, that means nothing to you.
Got it. Okay.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. So there's there's a bunch of funny ones right in a row here. There's like I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself. Wait, let me have a. They're just going back and forth. There's one's got boxing gloves on and shit. And then there's the backwards baggage claim, which got Casey today, which was...
I'd never seen it.
I did not expect that, and I thought it was hysterical.
Yeah, I had totally never seen that.
So if you haven't seen that movie, the people come down the belt onto the thing, and you get off when you get to your bag. That's already sitting on the floor.
Rolling onto each
other. I don't hate that idea.
I love it. I think we should try it.
Because, and by the way... and maybe this just goes without saying for people who travel a lot, but for those of you who don't, when you get off the plane and when you get to the baggage carousel, just stand back 3 fucking feet from the goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You physically see your baggage and then step up and get it, because all of you fucking knuckleheads that just crowd around the thing and don't leave any room for anybody, or I got to get in there, pick it up, and try not to hit you in the knees with it.
No,
I am going to just hit you with it.
I will take a fucking old lady out in the kneecaps. I don't give a fuck.
I'll take this a step further. One person needs to be waiting for the shit.
Too.
You know,
and
like
then
everybody else,
to
get
the rest.
fuck. Yeah,
I don't even say excuse me,
because there's no reason for a family of 7 to be up there. Now, this going, and I'm sorry, but I this is true. So fuck it. I don't know how much you travel internationally, Eric, but let's just say that it's a fucking dream in this country at a baggage claim, because it fucking sucks everywhere else.
I took my friend Katie to the
Everything.
UK on a, actually it was Heartache and Hilarity tour the first time, but the second time Bowling for Soup, and we've gone 2 times, and she's like an overpacker. I mean, she'll come spend the night at the house for 1 night and have fucking luggage, okay? And I told her, and I said, I'm really excited for you to come. I think it's going to be so much fun. Also, we're only taking carry-ons. She was just like,
she must have had a heart attack.
Are you talking about? Like, I can't do that. She spent like actual weeks. Like, I mean, I pack like the morning of and just hope I have a toothbrush. Like, I'm pretty good about that. Like, weeks packing and repacking and unpacking and repacking to try to do this. And she did not understand why. That by the time you're already through customs and all the shit, the last, like, just the whole process is just fucking awful. And the second time she didn't even fucking question me, because she saw the baggage claim situation, and half the bags are up against a wall, and there's just lines of people, and they're so crowded, and the people are, it's just the worst.
They don't have the same, in other countries, they don't have the same regard for space.
No etiquette there.
So it's like, when they told us to start staying 6 feet away from each other, it kind of wasn't that bad. It's like, that's kind of how far I stay away from people anyway, to be honest.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds good. But let's just say, I imagine it took a lot of work in a few other places. That's now.
I've only flown to the UK with you guys, like actually there,
right?
Like 2 times, and I've been like 15 times. Like, I usually meet you there and then come back, so I rarely ever have to do the baggage claim situation. But you guys obviously have to check stuff because you've got gear and things.
Yeah, and to be
and
honest,
you get put in jail
a lot
every
of
time.
times too. It's that's true, but a lot of times too, it's like coming back to the U.S. and then doing baggage claim with a bunch of people who aren't from here. That's kind of the thing that sucks. And, you know, I fucking, again, there should just be rules. But people wouldn't follow them anyway. It's like when they're like, hey, everybody stay in your seat till we call your number. Right when they say that, the fucking people in Group 9 stand up and get right in the front. Every single time.
But to be fair, I would take all this shit to be able to travel again.
Yeah, that's true.
I would.
Yeah.
I'd check a bag.
Yeah, Lucy in the chat said she misses airports. Never thought she'd say that, I bet.
She said, I do not miss airports.
Oh, you do not miss airports. I got it. Yeah. I do. I miss getting to the airport an hour early, going to the bar, you know, having a couple of cocktails.
1 hour early.
A nice, yeah. Well, depending on where I'm going.
That makes me anxious just thinking about it.
Just depending on where I'm going. Then I get on the plane, I have a really nice nap, and then wherever I'm going.
Kelsey and I have this argument every time we're going somewhere, you know, visit our mom up in Ohio or whatever. She'll, like, what time is the flight? It's at 10. And I start the backwards countdown. Okay, so boarding starts at 9:20, which means I want to be standing in line for security at 8 o'clock, which means we need to leave my house at 5:30 a.m.
Oh,
just
man.
in case there's
Same. That's how my parents are.
Oh, man,
my
no.
parents are like that. I was raised that way, and they would always book, like, our flight was always at like 6 a.m. So it was like, okay, it's 2:30 in the morning. Everybody fucking up and get your shit. It was the weirdest thing. And now that I've traveled so much, especially with him, who's literally like, it's you guys wouldn't be able to handle it. Because, okay, your flight's at 4:30. So you leave our house at 2.
No, you don't.
30.
Yeah, probably 2:30.
2:30.
Yeah.
Get there, get through security, and then just like walk in, figure out which place we can have one drink at.
Yeah,
and then
you go get a drink, and then you sit there and hope that your flight is
and
delayed.
he's so laid back about everything until the moment of they start actually boarding. Then he starts stressing out because I'll be like, oh, I've got to go pee. He's like, we got to get group. You got to get the bag on the thing, and you got to get. And I'm just like,
yeah, that's
this
just
is where we're stressed out.
You've gotten good about it though. Like you do, like know that that's gonna happen. So once they say first class, I know I'm next. And so, like, once they start boarding, it's like we're not going to get a water.
I also am not this is another. This is why you think I've gotten better about it, is because I am fully capable of saying, just go. I'll see you in there.
That's true.
Like, I'll see
yeah.
you. If
that would help.
You don't give a fuck if it's going to be hard for me to find a spot for my bag. Like, you just want to get your shit up there. Like, I don't care. I'll fucking float against the stream to get my bag later. Like, I don't care.
No,
it's all a battle for carry-on space, you know. And the thing is, if everybody played by the rules, it wouldn't matter.
Yes.
But not everybody plays by the rules. People go through there with refrigerator suitcases fucking all the time.
That reminds me of the one time that I have seen you mad.
Yeah. And I was about to bring that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only time you've ever seen me mad?
Like mad.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I mean, like, I've probably seen you annoyed.
Yeah. But yeah, that's probably about right.
But
Because
just,
I don't
like,
really
mad
get
about
I don't really
something.
get that mad ever. I mean, Casey sees it more than anybody, but that's probably not true. Dave Hale probably sees it more than anybody, and then Casey. He's my tour manager, by the way. So he gets to see Business Jarrett all the time, and that's a completely different guy. But yes, we were
these motherfucking red M&Ms.
We were coming home from the first cruise, right? And Amy had gotten her kids suitcases that were specifically to carry on. Your whole family had them, right?
Yeah.
Everybody fucking had them, right? Only carry-ons. Well, so we're going through, and do you guys get pulled over there first?
You did, because you had the earlier boarding group.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, it's my whole family. So
That's
we were
right.
just following you. So you were the first one.
Yeah. And so I put my thing up there, and I'm like, ma'am, I bought this. It's a carry-on, whatever. It's got my computer in it. She's like, you gotta put it in. And the thing that pissed me off is why are you not, I'm like going, you're not measuring this guy? Hey, look at his bag's bigger than mine. Are you going to measure this guy? You're going to measure. And she was
There
like,
was a guy right in front of you with a bag, a huge duffel bag with wheels that looked like a hockey player bag. It was so huge.
Right.
And then as she's talking to you and us about our carry-on size luggage, people are just passing by.
Exactly.
I mean, they're moving cross country.
Huge bags.
It was insane.
It was insane. But she was mad at me.
She was mad at you.
For asking, like, well, why aren't you measuring these other bags? I'm okay to play by the rules. I even said that.
Sure.
And she was like, well, sir, if you keep talking, you're not getting on the plane. And I'm like, how bad do I really want to get on this plane?
That's like whenever I fucking rage cried in Philadelphia that one time over the same thing because the lady wouldn't let me carry my purse with my bag, which didn't make any sense. And mind you, I don't ever carry a purse that's bigger than a fucking wallet ever. Like, I'm not like a big purse lady.
Yeah.
And so she was making me like stop in the middle of the aisle and shove it into my carry. It was a whole thing, this little tiny purse. And I was just rage crying because we had literally gotten from Germany to somewhere to Philadelphia and everything was fucked the whole trip. It had been like the longest day of my life. And that's...
You know what else? Didn't your computer get broken?
It did, yeah.
Because it was in your carry-on.
Because it was in my carry-on.
Oh, shit.
And
then you had to check it? That's why?
I had to check it, yeah. And so that was a fucked up deal. But anyway, we all survived. But you're right, Eric. I heard what you said. You were like, it really is like the most powerless, and and someone who doesn't always really... It's given someone else a lot of power, too. You know what I mean? Like, she really... The woman who was handling that, it really wasn't being fairly dealt with. But there was literally nothing I can do. If I kept talking, I wasn't getting on that fucking plane.
Yeah, it's the least amount of power that could go to somebody's head.
Yeah.
Like how this small modicum of power is what you hold on to, and it like makes your day to ruin somebody else's.
What's fucked up too is in that scenario, like right there in that moment, like this is another reason that us as a couple is kind of like a risky little game, is like if that had escalated and it had turned into like a you can't get on this flight, I would have been right behind you being like, fuck you, we don't need to fucking fly here. Rent a car, fuck this bitch, I don't care. Like,
and you know me, I would have been like, come on, Everett.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, take him with you.
Because you know, you're like, she'll have my kid back home.
That kid fucking road trips well. Let's go to Walmart, get a fucking car seat. We're out of here. I'm in. We'll make an adventure of it. It's gonna be awesome.
I fucking did though, man. Just sit there and start pointing other people out, and I'd be like, what about this guy? What about this guy? And they're like, hey man, don't fucking look at me. You know, like they're all just
they're
like
trying to smuggle it on.
But you know, just for the conversation happening in the chat room right now, Lucy Murray says the Philly airport is the worst, and then somebody else is asking why, and I can wholeheartedly agree that I have never had a good experience in that airport, and it is the fucking worst.
It's the worst. It's laid out terribly.
It's the rudest fucking people I've ever encountered.
Rude. Like,
they're so mean.
People are rude at the Admirals Club there, where their literally only fucking job is to be nice to you.
I have and it's whether you're going in or out. It doesn't matter. I landed one time, went to a Mac store to try to buy eyelashes, and you would have thought that I fucking walked in there and I said, "Listen up, bitch, give me some eyelashes." Like, it was the weirdest. I hate it. I get anxiety like just getting close to Philadelphia.
That's a rough one. For some reason, I had to fly in and out of there like 3 times in a week. And it's just never a good experience. And you know, I go to a lot of airports. I don't really complain a lot about shit like that. I will say that fucking airport sucks.
I know. I feel like we're always in it. I don't know. And we're from Dallas. Like, Dallas airport's the best. Like, I freaking I'm Facebook friends with every bartender from every Micosina I've ever sat at this point. Like, you know, everybody's so nice.
Yeah. Well,
it's filled with people who are from Philadelphia.
Well, that's
like the most miserable, worst people on earth.
Yeah, it's not.
So,
I feel like we're really singling out people from Philadelphia and chiropractors.
Here's
tonight.
the thing, though. I mean,
chiropractors in Philly, fuck them.
I always think everybody says Detroit people are fucking are miserable, but their airport's great and they're nice as shit. It's awesome.
I've never been that one.
Yeah, it's great. Get it
for me. It's like the worst. The worst is people from Philadelphia, then Al Qaeda. Then the Taliban.
There was a thing going around today. There was a poll going around on something today that was like, who are the worst fans? And sports wise, it 100% is the Philadelphia Eagles fans. And
you always say it's the Cowboys.
No, I think the Cowboys are the worst fans in that they don't support their team.
It's a bandwagon.
It's a bandwagon thing. Everybody's right off as soon as they lose their first game. When you go to the games, nobody's even fucking paying attention. They're all on their phones and shit. Eagles fans aren't like that. They care about the game and stuff. They're just terrible people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so anyway, fuck you guys. Sean, are we ready for?
See, I knew we'd get off the movie bits at some point.
Oh, there we go.
We're ready for another clip, guys. Oh wait,
all right.
Wait. No, we're not. God damn it. Okay, wait, we're back. No, this is that part, Casey, where he goes, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build his confidence up. That way we have a better chance of Okay, Stryker, you ever flown a multi-engine plane before? Shit.
Yeah, oh yeah.
This is a waste of time.
There's no way this guy.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Before we start, I'd like to say something. I know that right now things must look pretty rough up there. But if you do what I tell you, when I tell you to do it, there's no reason why you shouldn't have complete confidence in your chances to come out of this thing alive and in one piece. Stryker, what kind of weather are you in up there?
Rain.
And a little ice.
And a little ice.
How's it handling?
Sluggish. Like a wet sponge.
Sluggish. Like a wet sponge.
All right, Stryker, you're doing just fine.
It's a damn good thing he doesn't know how much I hate his guts.
It's a damn good thing you don't know how much he hates your guts.
The Elaine character is so good, too. Just like everything she says is so great.
And she still looks the same and sounds the same.
Yeah. Oh, like now?
Yeah, she was in the one with Ryan Reynolds when he was Just Friends.
Oh, that's right.
It was his mom.
That's right.
I could not think of her from that movie.
She does look and sound the same. I'm reading the nobody's actually offended, guys. Everybody's fine.
No.
So the I wonder if you could get away with the I speak jive now. Like that really was like a thing, like they were jive talking. There was a song and everything, jive talking,
I don't think you can get away with that gag now because it has zero cultural relevance at all anymore.
Sure.
Talking jive. And then the only kind of parallel you could make would be like if you said, "Oh, I speak Ebonics," and you wouldn't be able to pull that gag off. So
it's just so funny. Like I used to try to memorize what they would say, and I could do them all pretty good. But my favorite one is their very first scene of those two guys, and he just goes, "Oh, you know what they say," and then he just like lay them down and smack them, yak them. And it's just so good. But then, of course, there's Leave It to Beaver's mom that's just like, "Just hang loose, blood. Soon as we back in the middle of the mess." Yeah, my mama didn't read no dummy. I dug her rap. Cut me some slack, Jack.
She was so good.
Well, sounds like you got it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Cut me some slack, Jack. And what's funny is the subtitles that are telling you what they're saying stop when she goes, "Jive ass turkey ain't got no brains anyhow." Shit.
Shit.
I love that shit so much, man. And so the phone call to Miss Over where she's in bed and she gets up, she's just like, and there's some trouble with your husband's flight, and then she turns on the light and it's a horse. Let yourself out the back door. There's some juice in the refrigerator.
Some juice.
So ridiculous. Like that's one of those where you're just like, "Oh, the fuck, is there a horse in the bed?"
That was weird.
Yeah,
but hilariously weird.
That was one I had like. Is it a reference to something I'm not getting,
or is it like a sexual thing?
What was the movie with the head?
That's
horse head.
Godfather.
That one.
Godfather.
Yeah, I mean, you do look over there, and it does look like it could be a horse head, but it's a fucking living horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other one that's really funny is where he goes, "Oh, they could be miles off course," and he goes, "That's impossible. They all have instruments." What I love about this podcast is we are pretty much just doing lines and stuff, but I think people visually see it in their heads, because
for sure.
Everybody's seen this so many times. But Casey had never caught the next one, which I think is one of my favorites, where he goes, the plane. What is it? Well, it's a big white plane with red stripes and blue curtains and
wheels.
And wheels. It looks like a big Tylenol.
Yeah, well, then all the reporters go, all right, let's get some pictures. Yeah. And then they go and just start taking all the pictures off the wall. I had never seen that.
That actually, I don't know why, but that took me a split second.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that
oh my God,
I'm sure I
funny.
heard but didn't watch.
Yeah. That's a teenage Jarrett and friends deal. We'd go to somebody's house and be like, all right, let's get some pictures. And you just start taking shit off the wall. And the parents usually thought that one was funny. You could kind of win them over with that. And then there's the deal where they go through. This is the other. Okay, here's the third racist thing, or the thing that you couldn't do now, right? Which is the all of the newscasters. And so they go like to the one guy, and he goes, oh, and I like the guy from America that just goes, they bought the ticket. They knew what they were getting into. I say, let them crash. It's point, counterpoint, or whatever. But then there's like the Asian guy, and then there's just the dude with the drum. And then they hand him smaller sticks. And he does the thing like weather dudes do, where he looks over to the other camera. And oh man!
Oh, that was so good.
That was so good, man.
And what was the one with? It was like a tapestry for the little what's going on. Like where it would usually be a digitized picture or something, like a little graphic, but it was like a tapestry.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
It had taken a really long time to like a needle point.
That's right. I did not even catch that until you said it. I could see it in my head. That's right. They like.
That was so. It was a plane crashing.
That's
like,
right.
Going down.
Oh my God, that's fucking funny. Wrong week to stop sniffing amphetamine. The thing about it is when you're a kid, you don't know what amphetamine is. Like I had no fucking idea what that was. I just assumed it was. Something. Then there's, of course, we talked about the Shirley gag, and then one of those and a sleeper gag here is where she goes, Randy, what seems to be the problem? She goes, I'm 26 and I've never been married. And then the other girl, the other lady comes up just like, how long till we land? I'm not really sure. Oh, I'm just so nervous, but at least I have a husband.
Yeah, I liked that one too.
Yeah, and then of course there's the shit hitting the fan. When Murdoch hits this, the shit's gonna hit the fan, and it is actually shit. Which is what I'm talking about, like that literal humor. And it's just one right after another, And with Johnny too, like where he goes, well, the fog's getting thicker, and Leon's getting larger. Love that so much. That
was so weird.
That is another Chris Burney. I've decided that Chris Burney says all of the Johnny lines from this thing, I mean, monthly, if not, at least monthly. Which, he says a lot of shit. But, man, he does the Johnny stuff a lot. He does Leon is getting larger all the time. And then me, John, big tree. He says that, too.
Does he talk about watching the movie Airplane?
No.
Or
no, he just throws that shit out there, like...
It's up to you to pick it up, right?
Yeah, sometimes it makes sense in what's happening, and sometimes it doesn't. That's what happens. All right, let's see here.
Dueling trivia.
Now, Amy, were you able to come up with another question?
I do have another
I
one.
stepped on all of hers today.
That's okay. That's why I have more.
No.
All right. So, what is the score tally as of right now, Eric?
8.5 for Amy, 7.5 for Eric.
Okay.
Involuntary glare just happened.
8.5 and 7.5. So I'm not sure who. Eric, you won last week, so you can go first tonight.
Okay. All right. During Ted's attempt to land the plane, we see two air traffic controllers playing what video game on their monitors?
Ooh, I know.
Oh, I think I know too.
It's Atari, right? Atari basketball, I think.
Atari basketball is correct.
Very good. Yeah, very good.
Got it.
Oh,
I mean, I would have accepted just basketball, but that was really good.
I thought it was 10.
And the funny part about that is they're both playing, and when they actually kept it real, because when the one guy stops to talk on the radio and actually do something, his guy stops moving and the other guy really is still playing. And so when he's done, he goes back to playing the game. I mean, you that's like fucking thinking it through, because you really, you wouldn't have thought about that. Okay, so that's a point for Amy. Go ahead, Amy.
That's pretty good. What 3 types of magazines are there in the store? In the little airport store?
Well, there's whacking material because he reads Modern Sperm magazine. Oh, but I don't remember the others. I'll just have to guess. Like news and sports.
Fiction and nonfiction. And whacking material.
Fiction, nonfiction, and whacking material on magazines.
On the magazines. That's why I was like, that's kind of a weird question.
Does it feel like a half point?
There's another one of those things. There's another one of those things, though, that where like they did used to come through the cockpit and like offer you shit to read. Like they'd have like a stack of magazines, and you could.
So strange.
I guess they realized that that's fucking disgusting. Giving people these things like over and over. Plus, half the time you get the one out of the back of the seat, somebody used it for their gum.
Oh,
you know, which is the worst. True. I always feel bad.
But I mean, I like being on the plane because you get to find out where Cloris Leachman likes to eat dinner when she's in Sacramento, and that is like good information to have.
Good information. You're right. You know, man, I got to where I would get on there so bored, and I don't know why I do this. This is just something. It's always been like this for me, through iPods, and even back in the day we were carrying like little DVD players and all of that. Like, I'll get into the plane with all of my shit, and then I just find myself reading American Way magazine. You know, it's like, man, I have so many other things I could be doing right now, and I'll just read that magazine until I fall asleep, and then get up and read it again.
Better find some really cool shit in
also,
Sky Mall.
Is there
they don't do that anymore.
Is there anybody
They're not in there anymore? Go ahead.
They don't do what?
Sky Mall. I don't think those are in there anymore.
Oh yeah, but you can still find that online.
Yeah, it's online, but it's not the same.
Does anybody drink ginger ale at any point in their life besides A, being sick, or B, on an airplane?
No.
No.
So Eric Chandler used to drink ginger ale always on airplanes. He always did. It's never really been my thing.
That was my mom thing. She always had ginger ale in the airplane.
Yeah, I guess it is good for a tummy upset. But what I wonder isn't Sprite the same shit or no? That's not the same.
No.
Oh, I don't mean the same drink.
I know. But
does it have the same
The
effect?
ginger is what's supposed to be calming to your stomach.
Understood. I get it. Okay. Here's another question about ginger. When you guys go to sushi, when you put the soy sauce in, do you put the wasabi and a little ginger into there and chop it all up, or just wasabi?
Thank you for making that face, Amy. It's not a thing.
Why would you put ginger in there?
He puts like ginger and it doesn't do anything.
Well, I chop it all up in there.
Ginger's fucking gross. It's meant to cleanse your palate anyway. It's not meant to be.
I do agree.
It's not meant to be part of your sushi.
I don't think you should do that anymore.
I've stopped doing it because she told me that it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I swear I learned to do that from like Dan Povenmire, who like is a professional sushi guy. I'm gonna text him tomorrow and just be like, "Hey, did you?"
Yeah, Povenmire sounds like a pretty sushi.
I'm pretty confident that you asked somebody like at a sushi restaurant one time and they were like, no, that's not really a thing. I mean, maybe like in some country somewhere, maybe.
I just don't like ginger
That does not
either.
sound like something I would ask ever.
I think we were drinking.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We were probably sitting at the bar.
Okay. Yeah, maybe that I could, but I definitely don't talk to people. You have to admit.
Yeah.
So I probably was drinking. You're right. Man, sushi sounds pretty good right now. Maybe it's because I'm back on my fasting thing, so I can't eat today I stopped eating at 6, which is going to suck because we're going to get through with the show in, 20, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. And I'm going to want to fucking make something to eat, but I'm not going to.
When can you eat next? How long are you fasting?
I can go
Thursday.
11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's about what I do too.
Yeah. So usually it's, I went to at 6, so I can go at 10. At 10, I can have
6 to
something
10.
tomorrow. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that a little bit more than having to wait until, because sometimes I don't get hungry until like noon or 1, and that's awesome because then you can eat until 8 or 9. But it's those mornings where I'm like up early with Everett and I don't go back to sleep, and then I'm like running around doing stuff, and then like 10:30 hits, and I'm like, fuck, man, I've been up for 4 hours.
If you don't eat until 8 or 9, then it messes up the next day's schedule.
That's right. Well, so that's correct. So it starts off every day. So as long as you go before your time, yeah, it does fuck it up. So you just gotta basically take a couple of hours to get it back down.
Right.
But anyway, so anything sounds good to me right now.
The odds were against us up there, but we went in anyway. I'm glad. Captain made the right decision. The pilot's name was George Zip.
George Zip said that?
The last thing he said to me, Doc, he said, sometime the crew is up against it. The brakes are beating the boys. Tell them to get out there and give it all they've got. And win just one for the Zipper. I don't know where I'll be then, Doc, he said. I won't smell too good, that's for sure.
Excuse me, Doc. I've got a plane to land.
We didn't talk about the Pinocchio nose, where the doctor is standing there and just going, everything's going to be fine. The captain and the co-pilot are up there, and they're getting us there safely, and it's just growing out. Right here is where... this is where I think I already said all these lines, but Johnny goes on a tangent here. There's a sale at Penny's, me, John, Big Tree, and then the Rapunzel thing. But perhaps the funniest one for me today, I don't know why, was just when Mrs. Over gets there and they're done talking to her, and he just goes, "Oh, where did you get that dress and those shoes and that coat? Oh, God, it's awful." And she's just standing there like, oh, man. Oh, so bad. So, and a couple of funny things that happen here. The flight attendant comes in to check on stuff, and he's like, "You better leave, sweetheart." And then you might get hurt in here, and you just hear, "Ah!" And she just, "Ah!"
All the crashing.
All that shit going on. And then, maybe one of the most classic bits of all time, and this has to be another one, Amy, that you had to have heard and didn't know what it was from, but just want to wish you both good luck. We're all counting on you. And he just keeps coming in.
I think I've heard of it, but I didn't understand why it was funny.
Right. And now
that's not funny.
No, exactly. Yeah.
But then he does it 4 times throughout the course.
Well, and for the last time, they've already landed. He comes in.
Yeah. We're all counting on you.
And then the other one that really made me laugh today was, all right, everybody get in crash positions. And everybody folds themselves over. And even the really old lady is just all fucked up in her body. And then the Hare Krishna guys both really go for it. Like their legs up in the air and all this. Oh, so
upside down, everything.
That was really good.
So...
And then this is one that I know that I've never caught this one before, but there's the one guy, he's been in a bunch of movies, and he's got a couple of lines in this thing. He's the guy that's watching the radar that keeps checking the microwave. And he goes, he's all over the place, 900 feet to 1,300 feet. What an asshole. And I'm like, that's where I know it's really easy to make me laugh, because I fucking thought that was the funniest shit I'd ever heard.
That's the guy from Breaking Bad.
Oh, that's the guy. Okay.
From this.
What's that, babe?
That's something I say all the time And I didn't know it was this. What an asshole.
What an asshole. Okay, well, I wondered if that's who you were talking about earlier, Eric, because I definitely recognize him from a lot of stuff. This had to have been, early, I guess, in what he was doing, but, got a couple of good lines in there.
Yep.
Guys, we have really blown through this one. Sean, this is our last clip.
Stryker, you all right?
Yeah. We're okay.
Ted, that was probably the lousiest landing in the history of this airport. There's some of us here, particularly me, would like to buy you a drink and shake your hand.
Oh, man, that monologue just keeps going and keeps going. Now, I wonder if you guys stuck around for the credits to get the longest running joke of the entire movie. Did you guys happen to sit there or let it run through the credits?
But now I'm wondering if I didn't catch it.
So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
All right, so at the very first of the movie, first time you see Ted, he pulls up and you hear a guy go, "Taxi," and he jumps in the back of his cab.
Oh, yeah.
And so then he comes back and he starts the meter running or whatever, and he goes, "Make it snappy, I'm in a hurry." And so the longest joke of the whole thing is after the credits are done, it flashes to this guy and he goes, "All right, I'm going to give him 20 more minutes." And after that,
I think that's you missed it then.
Yeah. So funny, man. What a great movie. So Casey, obviously, I know you enjoyed it because I was with you.
Yep.
And Amy, you'd never seen this before.
Never seen it, and I'm so glad I did. I want to watch it again. Actually,
I told Casey
in the Hot Shot movies.
We've gotten to if we painted last week, and I was like, listen to some music or whatever, blah blah blah. She was like, just put on some movie that we just know. And we just were putting on like Superbad, and I can't remember what else we did. But
we watched Spinal Tap, and then we started watching all of those.
Oh, and then we went through the whole Spinal Tap thing.
Right.
Yeah, we did Spinal Tap and Best in Show and
Waiting for Guffman.
And then we tried The Mighty Wind, and we didn't quite make it too far into that one. So I don't know if we need to give that one another chance or if that movie is just dog shit.
Sean, go ahead and write down the question that you asked me earlier via text, Waiting for Guffman.
What?
What?
Holy shit. Didn't you text me today and say, hey, what movie do you want for your thing? Waiting for Guffman. That's the movie I want.
Oh, we should do Waiting for Guffman for sure. That's a great one.
I want to rewatch that. I haven't seen it in so long. I don't even remember it.
I'm excited for Casey to see that again because she had never seen it. So I'm excited for her to see it now and know the characters so she can hit all the one-liners or whatever. Because that one, both that and Best in Show will sort of leave you in the middle for a little bit. And if you're not really paying attention, you're not getting all of the comedy. But yeah, that would be great.
I don't know if y'all know this, but sometimes I don't pay attention.
That's right. Yeah, sometimes. Eric, obviously you'd seen this a bunch of times. How was this watch for you, and did Kelsey participate?
It was great. She did not participate. She was working as usual. I'm not sure she would have liked it. I like movies like this because A, I find it funny, and B, every time I watch it, there's something that I missed before, or just based on where I'm at in life, things that I find funnier this watch than I did last watch. And the next time I watch this 5 years from now, there will be something else that I find funnier. So I think this is classic and great, and I loved it.
Sean, what about you, buddy? Obviously you'd seen this before, right?
Nope.
Oh, well, what'd you think?
I like the Naked Gun movies.
All right. Well, the thing about this movie is, again, I talked a little bit at the first of this episode about, as I started to watch it, I guess I didn't realize that it was fucking 41 years old. But I thought there would be a lot more stuff that didn't translate. And quite frankly, there's not a lot of shit that's just out of, that people wouldn't get. I mean, maybe like I said, Ethel Merman and some of the real topical things that even as a kid in the 80s, I didn't really know who Ethel Merman was, but I guess you just sort of make that assumption. Oh, okay, she's just some stage singer or some shit.
I think you might be looking at this through the lens of someone who is in their very late 40s. I don't think a 15-year-old or even an 18, 21-year-old watching this for the first time today, I think there's a lot of this that wouldn't make any sense in like all to them. I think we think that it would, but
Yeah.
I
don't know. That's an interesting thing because I feel like probably not a teenager, but I think once you get into your 20s, you're doing comedy and shit. You know what's funny and you know there's like I said, there's hope because you have movies like Superbad. I know I bring it up a lot, but like that particular movie is one of those where it just like, okay, funny movies can still happen, you know. But yeah, it'd be fun to. I mean, because again, this kind of humor does cross over into so many other movies and genres and things like that. And the scary movies were obviously very successful. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what if anybody is listening to this or whatever, and you want to write in and let us know if you're in your early 20s or if your kid watched this and thought it was funny. We'd love some feedback on how it aged. I also want to recommend my favorite of these movies, which is Top Secret. I mentioned it in the song Val Kilmer. It's starring Val Kilmer, and it is so fucking funny. And it's just like this kind of stuff. A lot of really overt shit, you know, like, you know, so anyway, I would recommend that highly if you liked Airplane. Go give Top Gun a shot. Really, really funny. And then...
Nope. Top Secret. Sorry, Top Gun wasn't funny. That's in the song, actually. And then after that, watch Real Genius and enjoy the funniest movie ever. Okay, that's another one we watched while we were doing the painting. Eric, it is time for mail.
Let's check the email box. Email us at jaredgoestothemovies@gmail.com.
Hello. Last week, I emailed the show with a trivia question. Name an actor who had done a movie that takes place in every decade of the 20th century. Amy, did you give this any thought? We were supposed to.
I did, and I saw that there was a Facebook poll, and now I don't know if I'm stealing this from that or if it was my own idea, but I was thinking of Clint Eastwood. Now it's not seeming like a good idea.
So based on the poll...
I misunderstood the question and thought it was an actor who had been in a movie from from the 2000 or from the 1900s, which is wrong now that I have seen the answer. So fuck me. I was just right? Like, who? Yes.
So wait a minute. What?
And
like the movie takes place in each decade.
Okay, got it. All right.
So I'm thinking like Betty White because she's old as fuck, and you know,
that's
like,
possible.
Or Shirley Temple or somebody.
Harrison
but that's not
Ford?
It. The answer is The Most Beautiful Man Alive, Brad Pitt. The 1900s gave us Legends of the Fall. 1910s, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. 1920s, the setting for A River Runs Through It. 1930s, 7 Years in Tibet. The 1940s are the setting for Inglorious Bastards. 1950s, Trio Life. 1960s, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. 1970s, Spy Game. 1980s, Dark Side of the Sun. And the 1990s, give us Fight Club. And that is the answer
very
to
good.
The trivia question.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good
As I was typing out this list, my mind wandered to one of my favorite Brad Pitt movies, Interview with the Vampire, and one of my favorite cities to visit, New Orleans. I don't want to turn into Vinnie, the 515 guy, so I'll end this quickly. But next time I write in, I will have to tell you about the story of my partner and I taking a romantic getaway to New Orleans. The story includes real vampires, Southern decadence, and my introduction to pop punk music. Boca Ray.
Very cool. Yeah, thank you very much for that great content, by the way. I mean, y'all write in, ask us shit like that. That was cool. I couldn't even Google it faster than I mean, once you started to talk about it, for some reason, Brad Pitt entered my mind, and I sit there going, there's no way that's what it is. But I guess you're right. as you said, once we hear who it is, it kind of makes a lot of sense. He does kind of do a lot of stuff like that. All right. I guess we have a text message as well.
Yes. Hello, Jared and Cass. Longtime listener, and tonight was my first time viewing the live stream. I loved seeing you all firsthand for the first time. Anyways, you all made my night lovely, so thank you. Love you all. Kristen from Washington, D.C.
Kristen, thanks and welcome. I mean, you guys, yeah, that's just the thing. This is an audio podcast.
P.S.
God
hey,
damn
everyone.
it.
Hey, everyone, don't forget to dress warm tomorrow. I heard it's going to be...
This make you horny. I forgot a bit. So okay, go ahead.
Hey, everyone, don't forget to dress warm tomorrow. I heard it's going to be minus 45 tomorrow. It's going to be minus 45.
I get it. Nobody else yet? Hold on, I'm waiting for them to get it.
Okay, I think I just got it.
I don't think it's happening for me.
You don't think so? You know what tomorrow is?
Tomorrow,
yeah.
Oh.
Minus 45.
I didn't realize this was like written today. I thought this was like just an email we had. Like, over some time.
No, he texted us. So when they actually did this during the show.
Okay, I didn't know. Okay.
I like it. Minus 45. I like it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Very, very good.
The answer to your question, Jared, is no, this movie did not make me horny. It's too silly. There is boobage, and they were nice, but no horniness because it's a silly, funny movie.
Okay. Well, guys, seriously, thank you guys. What a fun episode. I know these are short when I'm not drinking, but you know what? That gives Sean a bit of a easier job.
But they're so long when he is. So come on, guys.
True that.
It averages out.
I'm certain I'll be back to my good old self soon. Hey, guys, connect with us. We got a website, JaredGoesToTheMovies.com. We're on Facebook at Jared Goes to the Movies, and there's a fan page on there. We'd love to hear from you. Lots of fun shit that we post on there for you guys to react to and all of that. Oh, as I was saying earlier, this is an audio podcast. However, we do these things. We broadcast live whenever we record. And so you can find us on Twitch now, Jared Goes to the Movies, which is another place to find us. And we also have a YouTube channel where you can see that as well. But the coolest thing to do is go follow us on Twitch. That way you get an alert when we're going live and you can come check that out. Instagram is Jarrett Movies, as is Twitter. Our patreon.com/Jarrett Goes to the Movies site is how you support the show. And we could not do this without you guys. Lots of fun coming this year for you guys and lots of perks that happen just for supporting, just little as $1 a month. Jarrett Goes to the Movies at gmail.com is how you get a hold of us, or you can text us or leave us a voicemail at 714-451-6029, 714-451-6029. Another way to participate is just by sharing the show, and we'll go like this. Thanks for sharing. Joey Bishop, Mark Ryan, Jackus Lamore. Is this a joke one and I'm fucking it up? Or is this not a joke one and I'm fucking it up? Jacques Lamore. Is that it? Okay, Jacques Lamore. Jackus Lamore. Jackus. I can't tell if y'all are laughing or not. What the fuck is that?
By the way, he's the host of the Pop Punk and Pizza podcast.
Oh, okay. So I'm just fucking up his name. Oh, okay. Well, Jock, if you could just tell me how to pronounce your name, I'm sorry for murdering it, but I did give you and your podcast a shitload of airtime here. Pop Punk and Pizza Podcast. David Kendrick, Fiona Freeman, I'm in your house.
Oldie but a goodie.
Jamie Appleberry, Molly Lewis, Lena Wilson, Betty Fuxer, Stella Virgin, Carrie Bayless, Sal Phillips, Bernard Tilley, Tina Bales, Tess Green, Chris Pulse, Vinnie Cataldo, Woody Chambers, Colin Blow Band. There's some OG shit for you right there. Justin McGill, Simon Rogers, Amy Pittsinger, Katie Brayley, Collateral Cinema Movie Podcast, Stuart May, Tiffany Mayberry, Marion Ranch Jackson, John Gickler, and Ben Insider. Thank you guys so very much for sharing. Hey, we appreciate y'all. We'll see you next time. And also, of course, we'll see you down the road.